everyone. Today we're going to work a little bit on our core, and it's going to be a dynamic flow, but we're going to start with some more static sort of core activation exercise first. And for this, you're going to need either a pair of peanuts if you have one, or just 2 singular balls. You put it in a sock, tie a knot on it. If you don't have any of these things, you're not entirely sure what you can use instead. Replacement could be just a block. We need the edge of it, just massaging the back of the neck to start with, or you can just skip it, or using your hands to just press into it. So these are all options. But let's start. And if you have these things, grab your balls and your block, and you're gonna lie onto your back. And you want this ball to come just underneath the base of your skull, where your spine begins. And the ball is sticking onto either side of the spine, not in the middle, as usual. And to start with, maybe just take a moment here, let your neck sink in. Noticing your stomach relax, your hips, your legs soften. And feel that pressure digging into this little spot here. Most of us will find quite a bit of tension, especially if you work a lot, sort of in a fixed, hunching, sedentary position. And this is a very good way to release it, and that allows us to really utilize our front body better. When you've gotten used to it, begin to dip your chin down to your chest, lifting it up. So we're just nodding the head up and down. And the ball is massaging up and down on the side of the spine. If you're quite used to doing these things, you're quite okay with this, you want more, your option to put your hand onto your forehead, pressing it down as you're moving. It's increasing the pressure. And really work on your chin all the way down. Imagine the skin on the back of your neck lifting up onto the skull and towards your forehead every time. So we're trying to work on releasing any knot that we might have on the back of the neck. Just let the skin of the whole back releasing. If you have any extra movements left and right, perhaps circle, if that feels good, go ahead and do all that. Otherwise, when you're ready, removing the ball, removing the block to the side, then just lie your head on the floor for a moment. Notice the space on the back of your neck. And feel your shoulders resting down on the ground. Now bring your arms out to the side in a big T shape. And feel the armpits begin to broaden and soften. Now without lifting your head, slowly turning your head all the way to the left side. So your left chin, left cheek coming closer to your left shoulder. Bringing your head back into the center, turning your head all the way to the right without lifting. So your head indeed will tilt to the side. Your face will come closer to the right shoulder this time. And switching to the center left side. And this time with your right hand, opposite hand, turn so that your palms face down and press your shoulder, your whole arm to the floor. So you'll feel a very small opening on the side of your neck, the top of the shoulder. As your face coming back to the center, right palm face up. As your face turning to the right, left palm face down. Your shoulder pressing down away from the neck. And just doing one more on each side, just like that. And we start with these softer movements because it's very important that we find comfort and softness while we're doing the slightly more challenging core activations, the exercises. And find your head back into the center. And resting your arms down to your side. And really let your body drop this time. If you're like me, your knees are bent, feel your feet on the ground. Otherwise, feel the back of your calves, your heels, your buttock heavy. Releasing your jaw, letting the back of your neck, the place we're massaging before, relax and lengthen. And when we are working, we want to work deeply, efficiently. But when we're resting, try to focus really on resting 100%. So no little fidgets, no wanting to engage. Just let yourself drop for these few moments here. And begin to deepen the breath. Imagine this breath broadening your ribs, not just to the front, to the side, but also towards the floor. So as you breathe, your torso expanding to 360 degrees, multiple different directions. And feel the front of your stomach just softly relax each time as you breathe out. And begin to make this breath even deeper. Imagine this breath pouring all the way down to the bottom of your stomach, all the way down to the bottom of your pelvis. And feeling your chest, your lungs deflate. As you continue breathing, maybe even think about breathing into your armpits, your collarbone, top of the chest, and deflating as you breathe out. And continue breathing a few breaths more. If you feel that you are still holding tension, you're still very aware of what's going on around you. And take a few sighs, open your mouth. And just 2 breaths more like that. Taking one more deep breath all the way down to your pelvic floor, the bottom of your pelvis. And exhale, deflating everything. And this time at the bottom of this breath, lift and hold your pelvic floor. Imagine you need to pee really a lot, so you're using the muscle. And this muscle is coming into kind of like a circle, holding the bottom of our upper body. And imagine the circle contracting towards the center. Maybe even imagine it lifting slightly forward towards the ceiling and up towards your stomach. And notice the lower stomach will just very lightly engage like that. And keep breathing even as you're engaging your pelvic floor. On your next bottom of the exhale, let go. And just do one more inhale, deep breath down to the bottom. And begin to engage your pelvic floor as you exhale. Lift, 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 lift. Maybe even lifting it up into the sky and up in towards your stomach. And let go. Now from here, allowing your shoulders, your upper body to be as soft as you can. But lift your legs up into the sky. And not everybody will be able to do a 90 degrees. Option to keep your knees bent, so you'll do a 90 degree in your bent knee instead. But keeping your knees on top of the hips, you might look, just to make sure that that's the case. And trying as best as you can to keep your upper body, your shoulders, your neck as soft as you can. Now from here, press the inner edge of your big toe mounds together. And your big toe mound are the big part, the thickest part of your feet. And leave a little bit of space between your heels. And notice as you press, the inner seams of your legs starting to engage. Maybe you notice a little something lifting in your lower belly. Just to notice the difference, let go. Feel where it's relaxing. Press big toe mounds together, heels slightly apart. Feel inner thigh, lower belly engage one more time. And let go. And this time, press toe mounds together, heels slightly apart. Inner thigh, feeling them engage, lower belly. And take an inhale all the way down towards the bottom of your pelvis again. And then exhale, allow the breath to let go, but keep your toe mounds, inner thighs engaged towards one another. At the bottom of the breath, lift your pelvic floor as well. One more time, let go of the pelvic floor. Keep your toe mounds together, deep breath down. And exhale, feel your stomach in. At the bottom, draw your pelvic floor up. Keep your pelvic floor just a little bit engaged. Deep breath down to the bottom of your pelvis. And exhale, releasing your stomach, your chest. One more breath, keeping your toe mounds together, pelvic floor lifted. And exhale, releasing. And now bend your knees, release your legs, release your pelvic floor. Take a moment here. So that's kind of the area that you might feel a bit warm, a little bit trembling right now. That's the place that we're trying to engage. Now we're going to add on to this, lifting your feet and your toes one more time, or bend the knees. Toe mounds together, heels slightly apart. Press them until you feel the inner thigh. Lift your pelvic floor. Now this time on your inhale, lift your tailbone just a touch off of the ground. It's a very subtle movement. If you're looking, you might not even see me do it. But feel your low back will press down as you lift your tail, your feet further up in towards the ceiling. Once again, lift your pelvic floor up. And press your inner thigh, your toe mounds towards one another. This time, deep breath, broaden your stomach as big as you can. Keep your tail lifted, draw your belly in deeply. Just one more, inhale, deep breath, belly big and round. And exhale, stomach in deeply. And slowly releasing, bending your knees, release your tailbone back down for a second. Feel where? For me, it feels like the lower belt of my stomach. Just starting to very lightly warm. We're going to build onto this as well. So lift your feet one more time. Press toe mounds together, lift your pelvic floor. As you inhale, lift your tailbone off of the ground. Exhale, stomach in and down. Inhale, lift your tailbone even higher, but without moving your feet closer or away from your face. It's just straight up. And exhale, your stomach in deeply. Inhale, lift inner thigh together more, tailbone higher. And exhale, stomach in at the bottom of the breath this time. Let go of the tail, bend the knees, soften. And grab your hands onto your knees for a second. Noticing where the warmth is starting to build, the spiciness in your breath, maybe. How your chest feels a little warmer, perhaps. And we really take the time to rest between these core activation because we want the body to be relaxed. We want our nervous system to be on the resting side. That really allows the body to learn to utilize the places we're activating and training. Now, once again, lifting your feet. And this time, interlace your fingers behind your head. If you have taken a class with me before, you're like, oh no. Keep your knees on top of your hips once again. Toe mounds, pelvic floor. Inhale, lift tailbone. Next, I'll lift shoulder blade. Noticing I'm not curling, I'm just lifting straight up, looking up. Press your toe mounts together a little bit more, lift your tail a little higher, big belly. Deep breath in, belly button down towards the ground. Inhale, lift tailbone higher. Exhale, lift shoulder blade higher. Last breath, inhale. And exhale, deep belly in. And slowly shoulder down, tailbone down, bend the knees. Maybe feeling the face starting to feel a little warm as well. Mine surely does. Phew. We're gonna do that set one more time. And as much as we're engaging all these different muscles, really think about the breath. Imagine the breath is really making big space in towards your stomach, pressing to your pelvic floor. And as you breathe out each time, imagine your stomach vacuum, suck everything in your front body down towards your back. So, once again, hands behind the skull, lift your feet, toe mounts, tailbone, pelvic floor. As you inhale, lift your tailbone even higher, straight up. And exhale, shoulder blade off of the ground, look straight up. Imagine the heart lift up into the sky. Inhale, tailbone even higher. And exhale, belly in deeply. Inhale, super big belly. And exhale, belly in deeply, lift your pelvic floor even harder. One more time, inhale, big belly. And exhale, small from belly in. And slowly, tailbone down, shoulder down, head down, bend the knees. Hands onto your knees once again, just a little moment. Now, we're going into the areas where I might not be able to breathe very nicely while I'm saying this, while I'm doing these exercises. But let's go. Lift your feet one more time, toe mounts together. Lift your pelvic floor. And this time, reach your arms just forward on the side of your waistline. On your inhale, lift your tailbone up higher. And exhale, lift your shoulder blade off, reach your arms forward. Squeeze your stomach in. And take inhale right here. Exhale, bend your right knee and slowly dip your right foot towards the floor, not quite down yet. Stay here. Take inhale, lift your tailbone higher. And exhale, magnetize your toe mounts towards one another, even though they don't touch. Inhale, tailbone higher. And exhale, stomach deeply in towards the spine. This time, inhale, lift your right foot, toe mounts together. Exhale, left knee bend, foot towards the ground. Inhale, tail higher. And exhale, stomach deeply in. Inhale, higher. And exhale, deeply in. One more time, inhale. And exhale, stomach in. This time, inhale, left foot, toe mount together. And exhale, shoulder blade higher, draw your belly in. Inhale, tailbone lift. And exhale, shoulder higher. And slowly releasing. Tailbone, shoulder, neck, head back down. If there's any residual effort in your stomach, in your core, in your front chest, take a few sighs out through the mouth. And every time you feel very challenged, you're about to give up, take one more breath, trying to stay a tiny bit longer than you think you can. And over time, we're trying to build up. Right, let's do one more set like that. Your feet out. If your neck or your throat is starting to feel a bit too much effort, by the way, you can do what we did before, hands behind the skull. Otherwise, arm to the side. Press toe mounts together, lift your pelvic floor. As you inhale, lift your tailbone high. And exhale, shoulder blade off of the ground. And take an inhale, lift your pelvic floor, tailbone higher. Exhale, bend your right knee, bring your right heel close towards the floor. Still having a feeling you're drawing your legs towards one another, tailbone high. Exhale, stomach in, so you really press the air out. Big inflate. And exhale, stomach in deeply. Inhale, right foot back up. Exhale, left knee bend, left foot close to the floor. Inhale, tip higher. And exhale, stomach in. Inhale, tailbone. Exhale, stomach. Inhale, both legs high. Exhale, this time lift your fingers towards your toes, or towards your knees. And lift straight up in towards the ceiling. 2 more breaths, big breath into your belly. And big breath out, belly in. And big breath in towards your belly. And big breath in. And slowly releasing yourself back down. If you're like me, you just postpartum, these things are really very hard to do. So be gentle to yourself. Feel your stomach starting to release. Now we're gonna do just 2 more sets, a little different. We build onto it. Hands behind the skull. If the one that we did just now really kicked your ass, you think that that was hard enough, do the same. Otherwise, lift your feet, toe mounts together. As you inhale, lift your tailbone, same thing. Exhale, shoulder blade off of the ground. Inhale, lift tailbone higher. And exhale, this time keep your right leg straight and bring it down towards the ground, not touching. Inhale, lift tail even higher. And exhale, belly in more. Inhale, both legs up, toe mounts together. And exhale, left leg down towards the floor. Inhale, tailbone high. And exhale, belly in. Inhale, toes together. And exhale, right leg. Inhale, tail. And exhale, stomach. Inhale, toe mounts together. And exhale, left leg. Inhale, big belly, tail up. And exhale, stomach in. Inhale, both legs up. And exhale, lift your chest even higher. Inhale, big belly, round, round, round. And exhale, extremely squeeze your belly in. Last 1 breath like that. Releasing shoulders, tailbone, bend the knees. Ooh, yo, yo. Wait until the shaking, the vibration in your stomach begins to stop. Until you can restore the softness in your shoulders, your neck. Before we move on to do the last set, the funniest, the most exciting set. And lift your legs up into the sky. Press your toe mounts together. Feel your inner thigh. Lift your pelvic floor. As you inhale, lift your tailbone. And exhale, lift your shoulder blade. Inhale, lift tailbone even higher. And exhale, right leg down towards the ground, not touching. Stay, or bend the left knee, press and turn your left shoulder blade down to the floor. Press your left shoulder blade down and touch your right elbow towards the left inner knee. Now press those 2 together super hard, like so hard. 1 more breath. Big belly as you breathe in, as big as you can. As more belly as you can as you breathe out. Inhale, lift everything into the center, toe mounts together. And exhale, left leg close to the floor. Turn your chest to the right, press right shoulder blade down. Press your right shoulder back, you lift your left elbow. Bend the right knee and press your knee, elbow together. And take inhale, big belly. And exhale, press your knee towards your elbow even more. And just 1 more breath. Big belly as you breathe in. Pressing deeply as you breathe out. Inhale, lifting everything up. Shoulder, tail, feet high, high, high. And exhale, draw your belly in deeply. One more breath right here. Inhale. And exhale deeply. And slowly release shoulder, head, tailbone, bend the knees. Maybe even bring your hands onto your knees and just very lightly rock. Or do any other intuitive movement that works, that feels good for you. Okay, now bring your hands behind the thighs and just very lightly starting to rock yourself. And notice that this works a lot better if you draw your belly, engaging pretty much the same muscle that we were working on before. Maybe to begin with, we'll keep your knees bent and straight, just a little momentum. As you continue moving like this, and begin to keep your legs straight. Maybe as you rock up, even pausing just a second in a little bow pose as you rock. Your challenge to release your hands, just let yourself rock like a boat. On your next rock, come up into a sitting position. Ooh. Just a little bit more. And as you sit, bring your feet far apart so you can press your big toes, your heels down to the floor. As you press your big toes, noticing we're still feeling the inner thigh engaging just a touch, right? Now from me, draw your belly and lift your chest up into the sky. And lift your arms. As much as you're reaching your arm, imagine you're pulling your fingers back to the back of your heart. So your arms are not just flailing, they're kind of plugged into the back of your chest. And take inhale right here. And exhale, suck your belly in and turn, rotate your chest to the right side. Now from here, rounding through the back, draw your belly in and slowly begin to round and curl down. As slowly as you can. And still trying to keep your big toes down to the floor as you lower down, reach your arms away from the hips. Inhale. Exhale, stomach in, come up. Arms up, inhale, big toes down. Exhale, stomach in and turn and twist to the left side and slowly curl round the back and slow as you lower. Inhale, arms away from the hips, lengthen. And exhale, sitting up. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, turning to the right side, stomach in. Inhale here, lift the chest. And exhale, round the back and slowly curl down once again. Inhale, reaching your arms away from the hips. And exhale, follow your hands as you come up to sit, arms up. And exhale, stomach in and turn to the left. Press your big toes as you slowly curl all the way to the floor. Arms away from the hips, inhale. And exhale, reach your arms as you come up to sit. And take inhale, lifting your arms. And exhale, bring your hands in front of your legs and round the back. And from here, feet together, open your knees wide. Take your inhale, pull into the front of your shin. Reach your belly, chest, and your chin up. And exhale, keep pulling as you reach your heart away from the feet. So it's almost like you're pulling against your arms just a touch and feel your shoulder blade spreading. Inhale, reaching your heart forward. Roll your shoulder blade back and down. And exhale, rolling back. Rounding, pulling in the arms. Last one, inhale, forward. And exhale, rounding. And from here, coming back into the middle, press your feet together. Maybe help yourself to come. And we're just going to do a tiny mini little squat where your inner thighs, your feet are quite close towards one another. I like to keep my feet about hip width. And from here, lift the heels, press your inner thighs together. So you're pointing your knees either parallel or slightly down towards the ground. Squeeze your inner thighs together, lift your tailbone, engage your belly button. And take your inhale, lift your arms away from the feet. And exhale, bring your chest down to your thighs and roll arms behind you. Spread the fingers, squeeze your shoulder blade together. Okay, inhale, inner thighs together and lift your arms up. And exhale, belly down, arms back, roll and squeeze your elbows, shoulder blades, spread your fingers. This time, inhale, reaching your arms forward, heels down, and lift into a chair pose. And exhale, chest towards your thighs, arm back, squeeze, open the heart. This time, inhale, lift your toes, press the down, and lift and come up to stand, look up. And exhale, open your arms wide as you can bring it back behind you, interlace your fingers. Now keep your elbows bent to start with. Roll your shoulder blade elbows together and pull it back as far back as you can behind you. Now from here, keep your shoulders down and away from the face and lift your arm as far up as possible. A little humble in the chin. Keep the back of your neck long. And take an inhale here, breathe into the front of the heart. And exhale, soften your knee just a touch and fold. Keeping your shoulder exactly where they are and slowly bring your arms down, your hands down towards the ground. And from here, releasing the fingertips, allow your face to drop, your face to soften. Maybe even close your eyes. Let yourself hang for a second. Noticing how it feels in the back of your neck. Can you relax them? Your forehead, your face. And just like we did in the beginning, drop into stillness completely, into restfulness. So when we work extra hard and extra effectively. From here, keep your fingers grazing the floor, bend the knees and reach your spine forward. Next, I'll bring your weight to your heels, draw your belly in and lift your arms forward and up. Now from here, bring the weight towards your right foot. Press down and squeeze the outer side of your bum. And slowly lifting your left heel, maybe even bend the knee. And keep using your right bum, push your right knee away from the midline. And slowly stretching and step. Left foot back to the back of the mat. High lunge. If high lunge feels a little bit too much, you're a little bit tired in the legs, lower the knee down option. No matter where you are, draw your legs into the middle. So you're drawing them towards one another, not just towards the midline, but towards the middle of the mat as well. So it feels as though the front of your left thigh works, the back of your right leg also has to work just a touch. Now from here, imagine you're a big bird. As you inhale, open your arms, open the front of your chest, reach your arms back, squeeze your shoulder blade behind you. And exhale, reach your arms forward, round the back, pull your shoulder heart back, the fingertips forward. Inhale, open, chest forward, shoulder blade together. And exhale, rounding through the back, fingertips forward. And last one, inhale, open up. And exhale, rounding. Keep rounding. And from here, bring your hands onto your thighs. Right hand onto your right thigh, left hand onto your left thigh. Left hand, pull the skin of your left leg up and towards your stomach. Keep the feeling that you're drawing your front body rounding and slowly starting to lean back. Keep pulling the skin of your left stomach up. Just one more breath right here. Delicious breath. And from here, slowly lifting your arms up into the sky. Round your back to slowly low. Press your right foot deeply, right heel down. Fingertips down to the floor. And lower your left knee down to the ground. If you need a support, a little blanket, maybe fold up your mat. Now, this left foot, the back foot, is going to bring out to the side. Press your left hand down to the ground. Walk this wrist a little bit further away, so when you press your shoulders, not directly on top of it. From here, step and bring your right leg straight back behind you. Notice the difference between just letting it flop where it feels in your back versus if you look at your toes. Imagine you're trying to hug this leg forward and up in towards your stomach. The same area we're activating in the beginning. Squeeze your bum, lift it even higher. Lift your right arm. And maybe even reaching this right arm away from the toes. Noticing my left wrist is not directly underneath the shoulder. I'm instead pressing it forward, so lift my side body even higher, away from the floor. And just the last breath right here. And from here, lower your back foot to the ground. Walk yourself a little bit closer until you can come up. Stand onto your left knee. Your toes can point forward or slightly out to the side. And take inhale, your left side body long. And exhale, walking your right hand down and stretch, open up to the side body. And slowly pushing your left hip away from this right foot. And slowly from here, releasing the hands, bring your hands forward onto the floor in front of you. A little weird transition. Tuck your left toes, lift the knee, and step so you find a wide-legged forward fold. Toes line pointing to the long side of the mat, maybe slightly inwards. Take a moment here. Drop your skull, drop your face. Maybe even slowly playing with the weight forward and back just a few times. From here, walk your feet a little closer towards one another. Bring your right hand just underneath your face and lengthen your spine forward, butt back as you inhale. And exhale, open up the chest. Bring your hand side of the face, press your elbow up. And imagine you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blade behind you towards one another as you turn. And feel your upper back side to engage. If you feel your lower back, draw your pelvic floor in. Draw your lower stomach in. Take one more breath here and slowly pressing your elbow back behind you lightly. And slowly releasing your hands back down. Release. One more time, inhale forward with the spine. Next, our left hand down, this time right hand to the side of the face. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, butt back. Next, lifting through the right elbow, press back and squeeze your shoulder blade behind you. We'll take 2 more breaths right here. And you're still working on lengthening the spine forward as you breathe in. And lifting and squeezing shoulder blade together as you breathe out. Last breath. And slowly releasing your hands. And this time, walk your hands to the front of the mat. Turn off your feet forward. Adding a little stretch. Pull your left hip back. Lengthen the spine as you inhale. And exhale, folding stomach, chest, shoulder, neck, and face. One more time, inhale, lengthen the spine forward. And exhale, stomach, chest, shoulder, neck, and face. And inhale, lengthen the spine forward. And exhale, bring your hands into toilet paper hands, like these little grabby hands. Press your fingertips round the back. Suck your belly in. And imagine you're trying to hover the foot or literally hover your front foot away from the ground for 1, 2, and step this foot all the way back to the back of the mat. Flatten your palms. And this is actually our first downward facing dog of this class. Or maybe it's the first for you today. It's the first for me today. Now we build onto that core activation. Lift your heels. Squeeze the front of the thigh. Imagine you're pulling the skin of your foot up in towards your leg, pulling up into your thigh, pulling up in towards your stomach. And from here, draw your belly round your back and slowly rounding, and come forward until your shoulder coming above the wrist. And keep your belly hugged in. Tilt your tail up, belly down, reaching your heart forward to glide yourself back into downward facing dog. And do one more time. Lift the heels. Draw the front of your legs up. Draw the front of your belly. Slowly begin to round. Broaden the whole back body forward. Shoulder above the wrist. Keep belly drawn. Tilt your tail. Lower back, middle back, upper back. Reaching, looking forward as you come back Downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths to air it out. Now from here, press your left foot in firmly and fold your right leg up behind you. Keeping your right baby toes point down, so you still feel the inseams of your legs engaging towards one another, front body slightly engaged. From here, bend your right knee and bring your right knee forward towards your right shoulder. Press into baby finger round the back even more. Suck your belly in, the same thing as you did before. Let's do one more time. Lift your right leg back and up. Next, as you bend your right knee, draw through the front of your left leg, draw your belly in, round the back, and slowly bring your right knee, big circle up. Right armpit. Point your toes towards the left side, and wiggle down and find a pigeon pose. As you come down, draw your legs towards one another. Maybe staying on your hands if this feels good for you. Staying on your elbows if that feels good for you, or come onto your chest. But you want to keep a little bit of engagement through the 2 legs. Draw your right leg, right hip back, left hip, left leg forward. And to come out, come onto your hands, sit onto your right buttock, and bring this left leg all the way, crossing in front of your right. Right? A little bit more engaged. From here, bring your hands slightly forward of your hips, so it's in the middle of the thigh. If you have books or stacks of, you can use toilet paper apparently, I've seen people do it now, press it underneath your hands, that helps too. And from here, lean forward, press into your baby fingers, and press your shoulder away from the face. Now, flex your feet, draw your legs towards one another, and lift your butt off of the ground. Maybe you even lift your feet off of the floor. If you're lifting your feet, draw your legs towards one another, flex your toes. One more breath, and lower it back down. Whew. Just gonna do it one more time. And take your inhale right here. Exhale, leaning forward, press down, round the back, lift your bum, or lift your feet as well. One more breath, and lower it back down. Whew. And bring your feet forward. Lean back a touch, lift your feet, lengthen through the arms. Think about you lifting your heart away from your stomach, maybe even use your hands to pull yourself up, just a touch. Take one more inhale right here. And exhale, straighten your legs forward, around the back and lower, maybe halfway. Inhale, lifting up, bend the knees, lift your heart, lift your arms up. Exhale, straighten around halfway. This time, inhale, lifting high. And exhale, rolling forward, coming to stand onto the front of your feet, just like we did in the beginning of this flow. Inner thighs together, point your knees down, arms up, inhale. And exhale, chest down, roll, open the chest, shoulder blade, arms back. Inhale, heels down, lift the knees, lift your bum, lift the arms, chair. And exhale, chest to thigh, arms behind you. Inhale, press down through the heels and come up. Squeeze the back of your legs as you come all the way up, look up. Then exhale, arms back, interlace the fingers, the other pinky on top this time. Bend the elbows, squeeze shoulder blade together. Once again, straighten, keep your shoulders down, but lift your arms up away from the ground. Take inhale right here, puff your chest high. And exhale, folding. Take inhale, reach your heart towards your big toes. And exhale, maybe bring your hands further down to the floor. One more breath right here. And exhale, releasing your fingers in front of your toes. And 2 breaths to set it in. Maybe even let out a sigh through the mouth. Okay, little chair pose. Bend your knees, lift your toes. Sink your hips, lift your arms up into the sky chair. And lean towards your left foot, left heel, press heavy. And imagine the muscles of your left buttock reaching down through the outer leg, through your outer foot, through your outer heel, and press. And as much as your butt is working, push your knees away from one another. That really helps the outer butt to work. Now from here, lean. Maybe lift your right heel. Maybe lift your whole foot off of the floor. And big step back to the back of the mat. High lunge or low, knee down if it's helpful. And once again, open your arms, reach your heart forward, lean back with your head as you inhale. And exhale, arms forward, round the back. And draw the front of your stomach, tailbone, pelvic floor up. Inhale, open up, chest forward, arms, shoulder blade behind. And exhale, round. Arm forward, fingertips long. One more, inhale. And then exhale. Keep yourself rounded. Left hand on the left thigh, right hand to the front of your right leg. Pull the skin of your right thigh up through your crotch, up in towards your stomach, and slowly lean back, but keeping a feeling you're sucking the front body in still. And feel this sensation on your front right thigh. Maybe a little bit more obvious. Ooh. Delicious. And slowly, everybody lower the knee down. Bring your hands onto the floor. Walk your right hand further forward. Spread your fingers wide. And think about you trying to press the knuckles down to the floor. So the front of your wrist is reaching up and away from the fingertips. Now, right toes away. And swing and bring this left foot kicking back behind you. It's like there's someone you don't like and you're trying to give it a 1-2 punch. Now keep kicking your left foot, flex your foot, look and make sure you can see your toes, and suck your front body in. Left arm up and lift your left leg even higher. Maybe even reaching this left arm side of the face and forward, and feel the whole right side body. And from here, left foot down, keep the leg straight. Maybe take a stretch first. And slowly walking yourself up into gate pose. Standing onto your right knee, left leg is straight. Press your right knee down, squeeze your bum. As you inhale, lengthen through the whole right side of the body, right fingertips, arms up. And exhale, leaning to the left, fingers walking down through the left leg. And we're trying to find a little tension through the right baby finger, down through the arm, down through the side body, down through the hips, all the way down to right, all the right thigh. Last breath. And slowly bring your hands down to the floor. Press your hands and come up to stand. Wide-legged forward fold. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, just fold this time. If your thighs starting to feel very uncomfortable, your hamstrings crying, bend your knees just a touch. Playing with the weight, maybe forward or backwards. Playing with softening your eyebrows, your forehead. Softening the back of your neck. Really allow the skull to hang. It's almost as if your skull is pulling through the different space and joints of your spine. And the whole braid of it just lengthening a touch more. Good. Now, lifting up, inhale. Exhale, walk your hands to the front of the mat, point and turn your toes. Draw your right hips back, pressing through your right big toe and your heel. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine forward. And exhale, keep pulling your right hip back. Belly, chest, shoulder, neck and face down, fold. Inhale, lengthening the spine forward. And exhale, belly, chest, shoulder, neck and face. And this time, lengthen the spine forward, inhale. And exhale, come onto your fingertips. Press your fingertips down, lift and round your back. Squeeze and stinge your pelvic floor. Imagine you're engaging that lower core. Lift your tailbone forward and up and towards your stomach. So it feels like you're curling and rounding through your whole back. Lift the front of your right foot. Maybe you can lift your right heel off of the ground for 3. Oh, so delicious. 2. And step back. Flatten your palm. Take an inhale, stretch long in your downward facing dog, butt cheeks super high. And exhale, open the mouth. Inhale one more time. Open the mouth. And this time, press the front of your foot, squeeze and pull up through your front leg, front thigh. Draw your belly and round forward. Belly in, tilt the pelvis. Belly, reach your heart forward as you arch back. Down dog. And just one more. Pull the front of your foot, leg. Imagine you're squeezing yourself in a very small pair of pants. Rounding yourself all the way forward. And tilting through the pelvis, the whole spine as you lower. Press your right foot down, float your left leg up behind you. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knee. Pull up through the front of your right leg. Round the belly and slowly vacuum front body. Left knee towards left armpit. Let's do one more. Lifting back and up, left leg high. Lift up through the front of your right leg. Suck your belly, vacuum. Left knee, left armpit. Point your toes to the right and lower a pigeon. And keep your legs drawn towards one another. Stay high or low. Elbow, chest, whatever variation. But keep your 2 legs drawn towards one another just a touch. And to come up onto your elbows or hands. Sit your left hip down to swing. Right foot all the way in front. Take a moment here and just to let this breath to set it in. And open the mouth. Okay, the last 2 little lasana. Spread your fingers, press just in front of your hips. And imagine this pressing coming from the space between your shoulder blades. So this little skin stretch out across the shoulder blade, outer arm, stretching out across the outer elbow, outer arm, outer fingers. So press down and spread the back of your heart. Now from here, suck your front of the body in and up towards your chest. Lean forward and lift your hips. And lift your feet off of the floor for 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Ooh. And one more breath right here. You're gonna do it one more time. Think about spreading the skin of your back out and down towards the floor. Lean forward. Press. Let's go. Let's lift. 3, 2, spread your toes, and 1. And from here, bring your knees forward, press your big toes down. Lift your chest, lift your arms, inhale, lifting long. And exhale, rounding through the back and slowly low. And when you find those spots where it feels so hard, your body just doesn't want to linger, stay right there for a moment. And feel those quiver and slowly releasing yourself all the way down to the floor. Now bend your knees. Your feet just behind your hips. Lift your hip just a touch and move it to the left side. Bring your knees hovering above the hips and lower them to the right. There's always an option to press your elbows to lift your heart, so you're walking your spine longer and slightly more to the right side with the bent knee side. And drop everything. And this is the moment where we need to chill and relax super hard instead of working hard. Now draw your belly in, slowly rolling upper back, middle back, lower back, back to the center. Bring your feet down to move the hips to the right side this time. Knees just above your belly to rock and roll left side. Once again, walking through the spine, if that works. And drop everything. And in these longer moments of stillness, we can very much become aware of if we're holding tension. Are we still nervous? Are we still trying to hold on somewhere in your jaws, your face, your stomach, your fingertips? And can you release all these efforts, all these places that we are habitually holding tension? Maybe even using your deep breaths to broaden your belly. Open the mouth to side out. And take as many of these. It's as if no one is watching. Draw your belly in, rocking upper back, middle back, lower back. Back onto the floor. Moving your hips back to the center. Walk your hips or feet a little further away from the hips and just wipe the knees left side, right side. And as you're rocking your knees from left and right, feel not just the leg itself as an individual component, but feel how it moves inside of your hips. How it moves into your lower part of the belly, somewhere deep into the cavity of your stomach. Can you even imagine this movement starting from somewhere deep of your pelvis, somewhere deep in your stomach? If it helps you turn your head from side to side, helping to release those tension that we may or may not be holding. If you want to, bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a little squeeze, a tiny little ball. When you're ready, releasing your legs long, releasing your upper body long. Checking your back of the neck still long. And finding a Shavasana. And still taking the option to sigh more if you need to. Allowing your body to release further and further and further towards the ground. When we're practicing at home, it's very tempting to skip these Shavasana, the moment of stillness. But allowing ourselves these few minutes of just nothingness, these pockets of time to just receive instead of act, really allow us to be more happy, really increases our ability to take and to react on things. So try not to skip these and try to just be still. if you're home, you have more time, I really would like to invite you to stay longer, to fully let every residual tension to release. If you are ready to get up, softly drawing your knees into your chest. And rolling and lie onto your side for a moment. And from the side, press yourself into a sitting position. If you want to, you can follow me, hands together in front of the chest. Bring our hands in front of the forehead to remind us of clear and loving thoughts. Bring the hands in front of the heart, remind us of clear and loving intentions. Bring the hands in front of the mouth to remind us of clear and loving communications. Bring the hands back in front of the heart, lift the chest, and softly bow the head. Thank you for practicing today. Namaste.